Hi guys, welcome back to Elevate Your Vibe with Claire, where basic is not an option. Today's video is about being kind, not nice. Lessons from Elphabas. This is a part 2 from my Outcast to Icon video. If you haven't watched that, go watch that. Let's get into it. We're gonna look into being kind and not nice. She chose to act with integrity even when it made her unpopular. Being nice would have meant conforming to the expectations, but Elphabas refused to compromise her beliefs no matter the situation. And her kindness wasn't about surface level gestures, about making the hard moral choices even at the greatest cost. Elphabas' rejection by society taught her the difference between superficial niceness and genuine kindness. And she didn't waste her energy trying to fit in or gain approval. Instead, she practices self-preservation. Her solitude wasn't a weakness, it was an act of kindness toward herself, ensuring that she stayed true to her purpose rather than being drained by trying to be too nice. And we see this because she's very selective of who she hangs around when she's at the university. For instance, where everyone is making fun of the GOAT professor or not really showing him respect, she goes out of her way to stand up for him. And at some point, I think he dropped like a vase of flowers and she went out of her way to pick it up and, put it back for him. And even though he was saying it's okay, she saw that there was a need, and because he was a goat, he had no hands to actually pick it up, so she did it for him. So that was an act of kindness from her part, seeing someone in need and struggle, and she went out of her way to help. However, we see even like in classroom settings, you don't see her talking to anyone. She even sits by herself in the classroom. She doesn't talk to anyone. She's not overly giddy, overly smiley like her opposite Glinda, but she's literally just minding her business, done look on her face, unless she's interacting with someone that she genuinely has a connection with. And again, this is an act to protect herself, because at this point she's faced rejections from everyone, and she's just at a point where she hasn't really fully tapped into her personal power or like confidence. You can see that she's very confident and she does advocate for herself, because honestly no one ever did, so she kind of had to learn that for herself, which is quite relatable. So next, she was a risk taker who chose kindness over comfort. So Elphabas took risks not because it was easy, but because it was the kind thing to do for herself and for others. For example, standing up to the wizard, helping the animals, and defying the status quo. Those were acts of kindness that were rooted in courage. So she chose challenges over the comfort of conformity. So I mentioned in the previous video that there was a scene where they were literally arresting the goat, putting him in a cage, saying he has no rights, he can't teach anymore. And she's literally like, is anyone going to help? Is anyone going to stand up with me? But nobody did. He ended up being taken away. So in challenges, she, instead of conforming to being silent like everyone else, she showed true kindness often requires taking risks. Being nice comes from a place of people pleasing, trying to show something that's not real, trying to give an illusion, while kindness is often bred out of genuine intentions. Next, she showed strength through rejection and kindness without seeking validation. She was repeatedly rejected by her friends, her peers, family. Elphabas could easily have turned bitter or vengeful, but instead, she remained kind without expecting anything in return. Kindness often comes from a need for validation. True kindness is self-sustaining and doesn't depend on external approval. The kind thing to do is to help, even if that person isn't overtly kind, asking for you to help. When you have a kind heart or kind intentions, you will go out of your way. For example, I was at a birthday party the other day. I'm the type of person just keep to myself, especially when there's a lot of people, a lot of energies in the room. And I was mostly just in my own zone, to be very honest. When it got towards the end, I could see that the host was very drained, very tired, very depleted, and she was cleaning alone. And obviously I'm seeing that, so I come out of my bubble, I come out of my space, and I start helping her stack chairs, sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, because it's like I can see there's a need. This person's clearly out of it, and she was appreciative of that. But my intention wasn't to try look like, oh, let me get some cookie points or brownie points or whatever. It was literally out of, I can see this person's in need, so let me do what I can to support this person. And those are what acts of kindness are. Quote unquote nice people in those situations don't tend to step up, or they tend to avoid. Just because someone's smiling at you, someone says I like your hair, they're complimenting you, oh they're so giddy, bubbly for everyone, does not mean that person is kind. That person can very much turn around and betray you. That person can very much turn around and be jealous of you, spreading lies, spreading rumors. So just be careful, especially those people that are having to show everyone how good they are. Like, those are the people you should fear them. Being true to herself mattered more than being liked, and that's something that I'm currently stepping into, and it's a life changer. It's a game changer. Get to a point where you don't need to impress anyone, try to fit anyone's expectation or standard. Like, if one day I came in smiling, greeting everybody, that's cool, but the next day I just want to walk in and I have no desire to interact with anybody, be giddy or be bubbly, that is okay too. you're kind and not nice. You're able to act however you want to act, when you want to act. And it doesn't mean to start acting crazy, guys, but don't feel like you need to perform for others. She didn't seek sympathy or play the victim to appear nice. Instead, her strength came from being kind to herself, even tried to break her. So in the movie, we only see Elphaba being emotional in, I think it's the scene of Glenn and Defying Gravity when they're like separating. So she's emotionally strong. Next, forming power into an act of kindness. So Elphaba's power was never about control or dominance. It was about using her abilities to fight for what was right. Gravity was the ultimate act of kindness to herself. Breaking free from societal expectations, was able to live with them. Being kind and not nice doesn't just apply to the people around us. It also applies to ourselves. We need to be kind to ourselves. Niceness is just the surface level. We gotta dig deeper and be kind. And being kind isn't always an easy thing, but being kind will take you far. People will villainize you either way. Okay, no good deed. So society feared Elphaba not because she was cruel, but because she was kind in a way that challenged the status quo. By refusing to comply with the corrupt systems, she was labelled a villain. So being nice would have meant staying silent. Her kindness demanded action. When you're a kind person, you're gonna have to do things, practical things. You can't just sit there in a corner. The reason why being nice is so superficial is because anyone can be nice. It costs only a few words, just costs a fake smile, you know. But being kind is like an act. You have to actually go out your way and make an effort and do something. Whether it's helping someone, whether it's advocating for someone, going against something that's wrong. Kindness will take you there. Niceness will probably make you run away. Niceness is not a strong foundation. Like strong, principled women like Elphaba are often demonized when their kindness doesn't conform to others' expectations. Society wants you to be the weaker vessel. Society wants you to don't have a voice. This idea that women have to be these open books, got to tell your life story, got to do it. So when you're someone like Elphaba who decides to be strong, decides to be kind and not performative, you may be demonized. So Elphaba's story shows that kindness is in fact a strength and not a weakness. So it's not about being agreeable, but about standing firm in your values. So her journey teaches us that being kind to ourselves, by preserving our energy, embracing our uniqueness, and staying true to our belief, we are creating a solid foundation of empowerment. So when Elphaba chooses to defy gravity, so towards the end of the movie, she stops trying to be what others want and rises above their opinion. Knowing that true kindness starts with self-acceptance. And this moment symbolizes the freedom and strength that can come from prioritizing kindness over niceness. So kindness is liberating. Niceness will put you in a box. Being kind to yourself is more important than being nice to others. Our story resonates with anyone who has ever felt like an outsider, reminding us that kindness starts with embracing who we are. Authentic, be yourself. Nobody's gonna expect you to perform. You don't have to do that. Be kind, not nice. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I might do a part 3 for this Elphaba character because there's just so much depth within her character. Let me know in the comments if you guys would want a next part. Yeah, comment down below if you agreed with anything or anything I missed out. If you have any disagreements, I'm here to know. I'm here to learn, guys. So thank you for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.